Okay, this is from the Lost Book of Enki, and goes back from the Anunnaki texts that were from the Sumerians and put in the clay tablets, and it's been translated by Sitchin in the 70s, I believe he did it, and then after that. They sort of scoffed at him and so forth, but now it's been substantiated, and now not only that, Mauro Biglino has substantiated beyond Sitchin's into the ancient Hebrew texts. So let's first we'll go into Sitchin's, then we're going to go into the ancient Hebrew texts. Okay, it's Roger once again, Mudfossil University, today going over some ancient texts, and this is the Ancient Astronaut Archive. Now, this is the Lost Book of Enki, Tablet 4, and I want you to hear this. It says, if Earth, see, they're coming down to find gold, and they're going to do this to save their planet, Nibiru. And it says, if Earth, the head of Tiamat, so Earth is the head of Tiamat, was in the celestial battle cut off, which is what the ancients told them. The head of Tiamat was cut off in the celestial battle, and I found all kinds of body parts everywhere. Where was the neck? Where were the golden veins? Golden veins. Where were they cut asunder? Where were the golden veins from Earth's innards protruding? In the sky chamber, Ea over the mountains and valleys traveled. He was looking everywhere. The lands by oceans separated. He with the scanner examined. Where is the gold? They knew it was in the blood. They knew it was in the veins. This is Tiamat's head we're living on, it says. Again and again there were same indications. Where dry land from dry land apart was torn, Earth's innards were revealed. All right? Now, what I want you to take away from this is these are the ancient Anunnaki texts. The reason they came to Earth was because Alalu, I believe was his name, was told by the ancients that in the beginning times, this is what happened. Tiamat had her head cut off. And then it went on from there about slicing her belly up and making this and that, and absolutely mind-blowing. However, it's supported in other places as well. All right, to go into the ancient Hebrew text, this guy right here, this guy's Mauro Biglino. He was a translator for the Vatican, and he worked in the Vatican library, right along with the Pope and everybody else, working right the same benches with the same texts. And he translated the books because he's extremely skilled in these particular ancient texts. So they had him translate 7 books, I believe, and they published them. Then they gave him one. They said, this is the ancient, I believe they call it the Messianic, something like that, Hebrew text. So you want you to translate this. So he translated, and he said, guess what? This is exactly what Sitchin said. There's Enlil, there's Enki. They all came from Nibiru. They came here to mine gold. They created humans. All right, so this is not some silly thing. So now we have the Anunnaki text and the Sumerian. We have Mauro Biglino, who is taking the ancient Hebrew text, and he claims this is absolutely common knowledge among the rabbis. Absolutely, they understand this. So what does this mean? There was 2 gods. Right now they're saying, oh, the God was a crazy person, absolutely insane. Well, apparently that's true. But he was not the correct God. He was Pistis Sophia's son, Yaldabaoth. Now, then we go into Pistis Sophia, and it validates every single thing that these guys are saying. And it gets so deep, I don't know how to get out of it. I mean, it's so deep that it's just, I'll show you. All right, now this is Pistis Sophia. This is the apocryphal Gnostic text. This is from a place called Giving Voice to the Wisdom of the Ages. And I want you to listen to this because, there's a ton of books here. There's like, there's hundreds and hundreds of chapters, and I think there's 6 books 1 through 6. Now, this is chapter 126 to 135, and I'm going to hear a statement that Jesus says. Now, this is Jesus coming back after he was crucified. For 11 years, he discoursed with his disciples, even his mother Mary and Mary Magdalene, all of them. And he said, I will tell you every single thing you want to know in exact words. No hiding, not a single thing. Now listen to this, because this is very critical. People don't understand this. And I think we've been deceived in a manner that is just very deceptive.
And their words fit and harmonize in the whole Moses with that which I have said unto you.
This is Jesus.
I will receive as belonging unto us. This is what you say unto men, if ye make proclamation unto them in order that they may guard themselves from the doctrine of error. Now therefore, for the sake of sinners have I rent myself asunder, and am come into the world that I may save them. For even for the righteous, who have never done any evil and have not sinned at all, it is necessary that they should find the mysteries which are in the books of you, which I have made Enoch write in paradise.
You have to find these mysteries. They are in the books of you, Pistis Sophia. These are the books of Pistis Sophia. Enoch wrote those in paradise. God says, write these, go down and tell the people that this is serious. This is very serious. And if you just said you can live your life as a perfect person and still not get into heaven. So I've been saying this over and over and over, but everybody, oh, I'm so happy, I'm such a nice person. Well, good for you. So am I. But that doesn't get you through the door. Just because you're a nice person, you go to college and say, I'm a nice person. So, oh, good, here's all your A's and you're in, no problem. Well, I don't think so. You got to learn, you got to study. I mean, I'm not big into college, what they teach there, but, if you ever want to be anything, you can't just walk in and say, all right, I'm good. You have to do your work. And this is the work. And I'm telling you, this is work. So, and it's hard to understand. It's not easy. Trust me, it's not easy, but I don't think anything's easy to try to get into paradise. And this does not do a single thing to diminish my faith in Jesus Christ or God or Allah or Muhammad or any of the stories of the past, all the way back to the Titans. Because they said in Genesis 6:4, never understood in history, there's two sets of giants. There were giants in the ground in those days. Those were the giants of old, the men of renown. After that, there was more giants. When the new Anunnaki came down and mated with the daughters of man, then there was a new set of giants. Two sets of giants. Changes every single thing in the whole Bible. You got to start out with the Titans. You got to start out with Gaia. You got to start out with Tiamat. So I'm just saying, time to start learning, and there's a lot to learn, and it's not going to be easy. Not going to be easy. Okay, you heard the words. It said that you could do everything perfect in your life and be a wonderful person and still not get into heaven. And if you don't get into heaven, it ain't good. Trust me. I studied a lot on this, and you're going to have to study a lot too, because the mysteries you're going to need to know are contained right here from this. That's wisdom. Pistis Sophia means wisdom, and wisdom is what you need to achieve to get out of this life. This is what it is. People avoid it like the plague. All right, now listen, I'm telling you right now, this is eternity. This is not some joke. All right, as I used to say to my kids when they were younger, I said, this is my serious voice. I used to play with them. I'd tease them, and I'd say things that were silly, but they knew when I was being silly. This is my serious voice.
This audio presentation of Pistis Sophia, a Gnostic Gospel translated by G.R.S. Mead, is brought to you by audioenlightenment.com, copyright 2017, all rights reserved. The first book of Pistis Sophia, Chapter 1. Jesus hitherto instructs his disciples only up to the regions of the first mystery. It came to pass, when Jesus had risen from the dead, that he passed 11 years discoursing with his disciples, and instructing them only up to the regions of the first commandment, and up to the regions of the first mystery, that within the veil, within the first commandment, which is the 24th mystery without and below, those 24, which are in the second space of the first mystery, which is before all mysteries, the Father in the form of a dove. And Jesus said to his disciples, I am come forth out of that first mystery, which is the last mystery, that is the 24th mystery. And his disciples have not known nor understood that anything exists within that mystery. But they thought of that mystery, that it is the head of the universe and the head of all existence, and they thought it is the completion of all completions. Because Jesus had said to them concerning that mystery, that it surroundeth the first commandment, and the 5 impressions, and the great light, and the 5 helpers, and the whole treasury of the light. And moreover, Jesus had not told his disciples the total expansion of all the regions of the great invisible, and of the 3 triple powers, and of the 24 invisibles, and all their regions, and their eons, and their orders, how they are extended, those which are the emanations of the great invisible, and their ungenerated, and their self-generated, and their generated, and their light givers, and their unpaired, and their rulers, and their authorities, and their lords, and their archangels, and their angels, and their deacons, and their servitors, and all the houses of their spheres, and all the orders of every one of them. And Jesus had not told his disciples the total expansion of the emanation of the treasury, nor their orders, how they are extended, nor had he told them their saviors, according to the order of every one, how they are, nor had he told them what guard is at every gate of the treasury of the light, nor had he told them the region of the twin Savior, who is the child of the child, nor had he told them the regions of the 3 Amens, in what regions they are expanded, nor had he told them into what region the 5 trees are expanded, nor as to the 7 Amens, that is, the 7 voices, what is their region, how they are expanded. And Jesus had not told his disciples of what type are the 5 helpers, nor into what region they are brought. Nor had he told them how the great light hath expanded itself, nor into what region it hath been brought. Nor had he told them of the 5 impressions, nor as to the first commandment, into what region they had been brought. But he had discoursed with them generally, teaching that they exist. But he had not told them their expansion and the order of their regions, how they are. For this cause they have not known that there were also other regions within that mystery. And
it just goes on from there. So you can see how deep this is. This is not something that you're going to learn in 15 minutes. All right, but you know, eternity lasts a very long time, so I mean, it's up to you to think which way you want to go with this, and you may think this is just silly. I'm just showing stuff. These are not my words. These are things that were written in history. And if I had just one source of this, I'd say, this is nonsense. This is insane. But what I have discovered with the giants, with the dragon, with the fish, with every single thing that I've discovered backs up every single thing that was written. Every single word was written. As far as I'm concerned, I'm taken as gospel truth, not as silly stuff. Now, in addition to that, all of these Gnostic texts, not Pistis Sophia specifically, but the Nag Hammadi texts and the Dead Sea Scrolls were found directly after the Holocaust of the Jews. Right there, right within a year or 2 after, they found all of these texts that were hidden in caves for 1,700 years, just mysteriously popped out of these caves. Now, what did they say? They told these stories. And what was these stories? These are the end of time stories. Now, and they're totally different from what we have been told. So, do you go with those? Or do you stay with what you had? It's up to you. Now, but then, think of this. 1,700 years hidden, pops out of the ground right after the Jews are slaughtered. Next year, they get their home base is in Israel. And then the end times start to unfold, it seems to me. And when I found the giants in the earth, and there's things people don't understand that, you know, some people haven't heard that, you know, are, I don't know how I got impacted on this. Somehow I got nailed on this, but, I have to do this. I just have to do it. And it just happened to me, and I can't help it. It's just the way it is. But I found the giants, and I had them DNA tested, and from there, the things that have come to me, no one will even, I can't even talk about them because they can't understand how these things have unfolded. And these are all the same things it says in the text. It says there's some idiot is going to come along and shame the strong and consider the time of your calling. And that's me. As far as I can see, because I have to show this, because what's being told is not true. It's not true. You know, if you want to say it is true, that's fine. Take it as true. I have no problem with that. But I'm telling you right now, it is not true. So you have free will to accept whatever you like to accept. But I'm telling you, the things that you've been told, even in school, they're just not true. And the people that you've looked up to have not done you well. Not at all. Do your own looking. Don't just accept things. All right, that's all I can tell you. That was my serious voice. God bless you. I love you. All right, when I found out everything of my discoveries was being totally suppressed by academia, this just fell on me. It says deliverance from false prophets. Well, false prophets, are they prophets? I don't know. It says many will follow in their depravity, and because of them the way of truth will be defamed. In their greed, these false teachers will exploit you with tales they have concocted. The long-standing verdict against them remains in force, and their destruction does not sleep. I mean, they've been telling everybody, don't believe in God, it's all nonsense, believe in evolution, forget all that stuff, you're cult members, you're this and that, when really it's just the opposite. I mean, it's never been worse of a cult than academia. Anyway, so God did not spare the angels when they sinned. He didn't spare them. He cast them into hell, and he was held in chains of darkness in gloomy darkness until their judgment. Their judgment is when our judgment happens. They are no longer in gloomy darkness. They are fully illuminated. I have them on my bench here. They're all over the place, and they are in the light of day. So there's no more gloomy darkness. So that means that we are all in judgment. Judgment lasts a certain amount of time. And when this is all been discovered and uncovered and judgment starts, there's a certain amount of time. It's not very long. Now, I wrote down on my anatomical charts that in 2014, I realized the Earth and the human anatomy was the same. I wrote it right on my little anatomical chart. So, that's 3 years ago. 4 years ago now, almost. Yeah, 4 years ago now. So, you know, I don't know how long it's going to last, but it feels like it's getting close to me. Anyway, I'm just telling you, that's how I feel. Feel any way you want. It's just totally free will at this point. All right, I better throw this in too, because if you don't get to where heaven is, in my way, it sounds like you're going to end up in hell. And I don't think there's any middle ground. This is the way I'm taking it. I could be totally wrong, but I don't see there's a way of avoiding hell if you don't get to heaven. If you don't know the mysteries, you're not getting to heaven. Now, this is from Karen Sarah, Enoch's Vision of Hell, and it is not good. I'm telling you right now. So you probably best look into this to avoid this. And wait ye indeed till sin has passed away, for their name shall be blotted out of the book of life, and out of the holy books, and their seed shall be destroyed forever, and their spirits shall be slain. And it goes on to say some very terrible things about where these people end up after all these things happen, because they didn't pay attention to the rules. That's what Enoch says, and God said, write these rules. He wrote 366 books. And then God said, come on up here to heaven, I'm going to tell you, and I'm going to show you, and I'm going to send you to hell. And they shall cry and make lamentations in a place that is a chaotic wilderness. And apparently this is forever. I mean, forever. Because this is your chance. And Jesus said, once I fill up the slots, it's all over. And in the fire they shall burn. And that's exactly what Jesus said. He said, you know, they'll make their circuits of life, and until I have enough guys, and when I have enough, it's all over, and the ones didn't make it end up here. Exactly what you're looking at right now. And for there is no earth there. And it goes on and on and on. A very, very bad place to be. So that's just, you know, I mean, I know I sound like I'm preaching, but I'm telling you, what I'm seeing here, I want my family to get out of this, and they're not paying attention, and it's killing me, absolutely killing me. Absolutely killing me. Anyway, God bless you. I hope you pay attention. I'm trying to get them to see. And I saw a flame of fire blazing brightly, and things like shining mountains circling and sweeping to and fro. This is not good. This is a wasteland. And then they scream and cry and lamentation. And Enoch was sent here to know what it was like, to tell you what it was like. So if you don't see what it's like, only the flame of a blazing fire, the voice of weeping and crying and lamentation and strong pain. And he said unto me, this place which thou seest here are cast the spirits of sinners and blasphemers, and of those who work wickedness, and of those who pervert everything that the Lord has spoken through the mouth, and of prophets, even the things that shall be. All right, I'm just telling you, this is what was written, and I did not write these words. Enoch did, and he is spoken of in every one of these ancient texts. Every one. So it's up to you.